Hi, what up guys? Today we're playing some Elder Scrolls Online, and I wanted to show you guys what I consider to be one of the best experience making methods, and it's not necessarily the best because it makes the most experience per hour or anything like that. I consider it to be the best because it's just kind of like the easiest sort of autopilot method for earning pretty decent amount of experience. It's not a bad experience, that's for sure. Right now we are in an experience event, and I do have an experience scroll active, so of course the experience rates are going to be quite stacked. The experience event is 150%, and I'm also using a 150% scroll on top of that, so a lot of experience bonus here. I'm actually getting about one champion rank per dolman here, and yes, of course, that is what we are doing here, is we are doing dolmens, but we're not just doing any dolmens, we are doing specifically Alikir, whatever you want to call it, Alikir Desert dolmens, because these dolmens are actually one of the most popular dolmens to do because they are pretty much all right next to your way shrines, which is super duper handy for hopping from dolmen to dolmen. And as you can see here, a lot of people seem to agree, which is also the other good thing about it, is that there's always people here, so you really don't have to do a lot of work. You just have to do like the bare minimum essentially. As long as you are doing damage to at least some of the enemies, you are going to be getting experience. Like, it's not like completely AFK, but you can pretty much just go on autopilot, just like, you know, put on a Netflix show or something like that, put on a YouTube video, and just sort of like drone out, not even really paying attention, just going from dolmen to dolmen. And yeah, so the trick here is that obviously you want to have all of the way shrines unlocked, or at least the way shrines next to the dolmens here. And basically you're just going to be going in a clockwise pattern from way shrine to all these dolmens. And when they're busy like this, you whip through these dolmens in just about a minute and a half a piece. That is from like the start of the dolmen itself to the point where you gather the reward from the chest, not necessarily from teleport to teleport. But you get pretty good experience rates doing this. Again, it's not the best, but it's very steady, you know, and some people just kind of like that steady, easy experience, you know. There's obviously better ways to get experience, but I feel like most of the better ways for getting experience, you kind of have to like get a little sweaty, and this method you really don't. It's very easy to just not pay attention and just do this. If you join a group, it does get a little bit easier because you don't necessarily have to be getting all the kills. Some of your teammates can be getting kills, or not necessarily kills, but you know, doing enough damage to the enemy to be able to qualify for the experience. So having group members definitely helps that, because more people means you can attack more enemies and attack them more and assure that you get the experience from more of the kills. The main experience reward is going to be for completing the dolmen at about champion level 279. I'm getting about, I think, 82 or 83,000 experience for completing, and that's again with all the experience bonuses and all that. And out of kills alone, I'm getting somewhere between 20 to 30,000 per dolmen. It depends on how many enemies I manage to attack. It's very, very busy right now, so you have to do a lot of sweating right now, particularly in order to qualify for the kill experience. But when it's only like moderately busy, it is a lot better. You can actually just kind of hit everything once and you'll usually qualify for the experience, and you can get pretty good experience rates doing that. But they kind of come up with a little system for joining groups where you just type in the letter X in chat, and it seems like they have like an auto invite system set up, like some sort of bot that just automatically invites anybody that puts X in the chat, because it's almost instantaneous sometimes. Unless it's super busy, then it might take a couple tries or whatever, but you just spam X in the zone chat, and if that's not working, you spam the letter Y in the zone chat, and if that's not working, you spam the letter Z in the zone chat, and eventually somebody will invite you to a group. I don't know why that's the system they came up with, but that's just kind of the system that's there, and for the most part it works pretty well. You type X in the chat and it seems like you almost instantaneously get an invite to the big group. One final thing I want to say is that area of effect is definitely going to be your friend with this experience method. Another good thing for it, when it's not this busy, when it's this busy you don't quite do enough damage with the light attacks with the bow, but when it's a little bit less busy than this, the bow is actually really handy, because you can just kind of stand here and like attack anything that you see that pops up. You can kind of get coverage of the entire dolmen with the bow pretty easily by just spamming the bow and pointing at anything that spawns behind it or to the left or to the right or whatever. you can get pretty dang good coverage of the place with the bow, particularly when it's not this busy. I highly recommend using the bow, and that's honestly what I use most of the time. When it's busy like this, you're going to want to just do whatever causes the most damage so you can qualify for experience a little bit more often. But other than that, it's usually pretty simple, and you can just kind of spam any old attack and you'll definitely be getting some experience. As far as completing the dolman goes, as far as I know, I think you literally only have to just attack one thing. I don't even think you necessarily have to kill the thing. I think you just have to like attack one thing. But just to make sure you're seeing the kill experience pop up at least once during the dolman. You should be trying hard enough to at least get one kill experience reward per dolman. If you're collecting at least one kill experience reward, you're guaranteed to get the completion bonus, from my experience at least. It could be a different qualifier, and I just don't know it, but to me it seems like you pretty much can get away with just literally killing one thing, and it counts towards completion of the dolman once it's complete. There are a couple other places you can do this. I think Deshaun is one of them. I think there's another one that might be kind of good. So if it is super busy, there are a couple other places that are just about as good as this one, but this one seems to be the best one as far as how quickly you can really whip out dolman after dolman. Oh, one more thing. It's not just good for experience. You do get a lot of equipment drops, which is nice if you're trying to level up your blacksmithing or your clothing levels and all that stuff, because you get a whole lot of, you know, blues and greens and purples for deconstruction and research and all that. So it's really good for researching and just leveling up those skills in general. Just thought I would throw that in there. And I don't know how great these sets are. These sets aren't like completely terrible or anything. I'm sure they're not like super meta great, but if you haven't got any decent equipment sets, by the time you're done messing with these dolmens, you're probably gonna have at least one full set of purple sword singers or Order of Diagna or Withered Hand or whatever. So if you're lacking on equipment, this is a good way to get some better than average equipment, I guess. I mean, not necessarily better than average, but you know, better than just standard equipment. You know, you can actually get some decent set equipment with some decent enchantments and decent quality purples and whatnot. Anyways, thought I would throw that out there. But yeah, that's it. Alakir Desert Dolmens. One of the best ways to get experience in the game. Not necessarily the best experience rates, but it is super duper consistent experience, and it's very easy to just kind of chill and turn off your brain and watch some TV while you do this without even really paying attention to what you're doing. So just thought I would throw this one out there. For anybody who doesn't know the secret, I'm sure the dolmens are going to be getting a little bit more crowded after this video comes out, so hopefully it's not too bad. We might have to move over to Deshaun or one of the other ones